This is Tyler Lewis here with Bean on Hoops. We're honored today to have the IPFW signee, Redford Dunton. Thanks for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
So, you are a senior at Millbrook. I feel like you can absolutely do a little bit of everything on the court, and I feel like people don't give you enough credit. How do you feel like when people try to dissect your game?
I can see, where people have a hard time dissecting my game. It's kind of unique at 6'7", kind of do a little bit of everything. Can shoot it, pass it, dribble, rebound. I think as a college coach, they try and always put you in a box, and for that, it was kind of, for me, it's kind of hard to do that just because I can do so many different things. I'm kind of positionless, so I can see where you could find my game unique and a little bit different. But at the same time, I find myself pretty productive. So.
No, really productive out there on the court. You can do so many things out there, and you impact the game in so many ways on the offense and defensive end. Truly special. Obviously, Fort Wayne's getting a good player in you, and that sort of leaves me like, what made you pick IPFW?
Yeah, I mean, from day one, I got to give my props to Coach Wolf. I was his first recruiting call he was even able to make, because last year he worked as their basically player personnel, and then this year was his first year as like a real assistant coach, and he was able to start recruiting players. And I was the first player he called, and it kind of felt like somebody I could just josh with like right away. So obviously that was a big help. And a good buddy of mine, Jared Godfrey, he's been playing there the last 2 years, and at first, being, 10 and a half hours away, you kind of have to worry about, distance and like the area. But I mean, he made me feel right at home, along with a lot of talks with Coach Kaufman over Zoom and stuff like that. So everything made sense, obviously basketball wise, but just outside of basketball, it also made sense. So that was a big reason.
I'll tell you this, man. I'm being a Butler for 3 years, man. There's some good people over there in Indiana.
That's good to know.
The Midwest, man. I love it. So obviously, you're not gonna like the cold weather. I can guarantee you that. But you'll love all the people. That's for a fact. They're great people in Indiana. I can tell you that much. When did you first realize that you were gonna become like the player you are today?
So honestly, at a really young age, I wasn't that good. I'm gonna be honest. I was not a good player. And then basically around 7th, 8th grade, I kind of started seeing the potential I had. I played a lot of sports when I was little, but I always wanted to be a basketball player. So once I kind of figured it out as I got older, around that middle school range, I kind of put it all together and kind of realized like I can do something with this ball.
So when you reached that age, like what was your daily routine? Like, did you work out every day? Did you take days off? What was it?
I mean, at that age, your body, you can do anything. I mean, even now in high school, like, you get a little bit of wear and tear, but I mean, every day I was out shooting, I was doing something with the ball in my hand. Like, it was no days off. Like, honestly, that's just how you got to look at it. And I mean, when you're older, you start feeling a little bit more, but at the same time, like at that age, you kind of just go out there and do as much as you can.
And that's what makes you kind of special and unique in your own way too, is the no days off mentality, and just being able to do something you love every day. It's really not a job; it's something you love every day.
I love doing it.
Yeah. So if you love doing it, then why not do it every day?
Exactly.
So what's your motivation every day? Like, what fuels your fire?
Honestly, my parents, they really inspire me. They work their tails off every day. I mean, they always have something on the dinner table at night, and I never have to worry about where I'm gonna sleep at night. And it's just kind of comforting to know like they always got my back. So that was a big part for me, especially like trying to reach that college level. I was like, I want to do right by them because they always did right by me.
No, that's awesome. I see them at all the events and everything, and I know they're going to be making a lot of trips to Fort Wayne next year. So my parents did the same. They had a lot of frequent flyer miles and a lot of miles on the car all the way up to Indiana. So I know your parents are going to do the same. You were speaking of the meals on the table. What's your favorite meal that your mom or dad cooks?
Favorite meal. All right. So my mom makes like some killer spaghetti. Like her spaghetti sauce is through the roof. And then my dad, best ribs ever. He has this rib rub that he got from his good friend Matt. And ever since we found that, biggest blessing in the world. I'll tell you that right now.
I love it. So you're never going hungry, and then you got spaghetti one night, ribs the next night.
Exactly.
Hey, shoot, I'm coming to your house. I'm gonna tell your dad to throw them on the grill right now. I'm on my way. So I know you talked about them kind of being your motivation. I guess they're your role models as well. With some of your coaches who have out of AAU or high school, who's played an impact in your life from the coach's standpoint of things?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, probably this coach I had around middle school AAU time, Coach Mack. He really like kind of shaped me into like the person and player I really wanted to be. And it's always stuck with me, like the lessons. Like every day we'd come into practice and he'd have his little conversation before practice with me, like just letting me know, like, don't even worry about the ball today. Just lead your guys and like kind of stand up for whenever you can. And I mean that stuck with me the whole throughout my whole basketball career. And other guys like Coach Steve and Coach Burnett, all kind of just around that middle school age, have had like really big impacts on me. Just because and obviously I'm sure Coach Gray. They always look at it as like outside of basketball, like you can do a lot of great things. Like we know how good you are as a basketball player, but we want to see you improve on these things outside of the ball. So that's always stuck with me, and I find it really important.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome that you have those coaches who mean that much to you as well. How do you feel about this crazy upcoming high school season? Are you getting worried at all? Or how do you feel about your senior year?
I mean, obviously the group of guys we got at Millbrook, I'm really excited for the team we have, all that we can possibly accomplish. But obviously, you got COVID in the back of your mind, you gotta worry about. So I keep an open mind. I think we're gonna end up having a season. It might look a little different, but I'm still looking forward to it. Just kind of working our butts off every day to reach the goal and hopefully win a state championship at some point. So
you can only control the controllables.
exactly,
and you got to stay positive through every situation. I feel like you're doing that, and I know you talked about winning a state championship. Obviously, that's probably your number one goal. Do you have any like other goals for the team and individual goals set for yourself for your senior year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the main goal, you really want to win a conference championship, want to win the state championship, win a regional championship, all those big team goals. I mean, individually, I'm not really worried about all the accolades and stuff. I kind of just have my mindset on one thing, and that's getting a ring on my finger at the end of the season. So
I love it. I love it. It's all about the team, for sure. No one person can win a game.
not at all.
And since you've already signed, do you feel like you have like weight off your shoulders that you can just go out there and really enjoy your senior year?
Man, even when I committed, I felt that way, to be honest. Like I had finally like just kind of felt like I could do whatever I need to do at that point. Like I didn't have to worry about like, putting on for a coach or like playing my best ball like every time I'm out. Like at the end of the day, like I can kind of just go out there and control, like what you said, control you can control, and like just play free and not have to worry about trying to like impress anybody. Like you can just finally like just play your game. So yeah, it's a big weight off the shoulders.
Big weight off your shoulders. Okay. During the recruiting process, what's one thing that you'll always kind of remember, and what's sort of like the weirdest story or recruiting call or something that you had to deal with?
I think the first thing you always remember your first offer. Like
Yeah.
you always remember how it happened and where you were. And it was kind of funny. It was Charleston Southern, and I had talked to him, had a FaceTime call, the head coach the day before, and I didn't really think anything of it. Like I was kind of like getting to know him and stuff. And like the next day, he just randomly calls me. I'm having to be just sitting with my family, all like around the dinner table. They're like, I was like, I don't want to answer it. We're eating dinner, and they're like, it's a coach. You got to answer. I was like, okay. So I turn it on, and we just kind of chopped it up for a few minutes, and then like at the end of the call, he was like, well, I was just calling to offer you, and I was like, kind of just brought it back because I wouldn't even like. I just thought it was like a regular conversation. I was looking to like continue to build that relationship, and like I was like, you got to repeat what you just said because I didn't want to write over my So that's the one story that really sticks to me throughout the process is like just the fact that my whole family happened to be there together when I got that first offer was kind of a big deal for me. So it was cool.
And during that time, how did your family react at the dinner table?
Oh my gosh, they were so excited. Like they kind of felt like it was like a long time coming. Like they always had a feeling I'd be able to play at the next level, but like it was kind of just funny that we all happened to be together. So they were all really excited for me.
And I know that's something that you dreamed about since you were a little kid. So
Sure.
definitely a dream come true. It's a blessing in many ways.
Sure.
How would you describe your game?
Okay, well, for all the people out there, let me break it down. For me personally, I say, kind of just positionless, I don't really need the ball in my hand to affect the game. I can do a lot of different things. I'll go out there, I'll take a charge, I'll get a rebound, push the break, and, just kind of just looking to do more than one thing on the floor at a time. Obviously you want to have like that thing you fall back on. And I think for me, that's just my ability to shoot in the mid range. So I always have that. But like at the end of the day, like I feel like I can do everything. I can shoot, pass, dribble, pick and pop. I kind of thrive with and without the ball. So
what's one thing that people like try to say about your game that just absolutely like you just hate it?
Obviously one thing I hate is, some people talk about my shot. It kind of looks unique, it's kind of funky. But another thing is like when people just like, people don't know I'm athletic, but when they see that I'm athletic, they kind of just assume that's the only thing I can do. And that really annoys me because like I've always been like a pretty athletic dude, but like I've never just considered myself like a dunker. Like I consider myself like I'm a ball player. Like I go out there and do all these different things, and you're worried about like what dunk I'm gonna do on the fast break. So that's always kind of annoyed me too. But
no, I feel your pain there. Obviously when I played, I had like a two-handed shot, had my left thumb on the ball, side spin on it. It's going crazy, but at the end of the day, all it matters is if it goes in. Doesn't matter how pretty it is. So no, I completely understand. What's the most important thing to you as a person and a player?
First off, as a player, I'd say, just kind of being a leader, making sure you're doing right by everybody, making sure everybody's on the right track. I can control myself. I can obviously, go out every day and like push myself to the limit, but you gotta be able to push everybody else to the limit and get them to a level where like they want to go out and be better than themselves. It's one thing to push a guy, but to get them to want to push themselves is an even bigger step. And I'd say as a person, just kind of just having respect for everybody. I mean, respect goes a long way, having connections and stuff like that. So I think if you're kind to everybody and, do right by everybody, then things will work out for you.
No, that's a good way to look at it for sure. What does being from North Carolina and being from the Hoop State kind of mean to you?
I consider it a big deal. I mean, obviously, kind of had a back and forth recently. Like I feel like with like Georgia basketball, but like I'm always reassured, like, bro, this is the Hoop State. Like I've always looked at like there's no easy game. Like you're never gonna have like just kind of get like anything handed to you. Like, and that goes for anybody. Like you could like think you're about to play like a lesser opponent, but like next thing you know, like it can be a dogfight, and that's what you get out here in North Carolina. Like you're playing good talent every time out, and like that's what it is.
No, I love it. You talk about so many good players in the state. What are some of the best players you played with and played against?
Played with. I loved playing with Bobby Pettiford and Dalen Berry. Like I just think their games are so like unique. Obviously, Bobby just kind of can do whatever with the ball in his hand in transition, and then I think Dalen Berry has a really unique game. Just obviously kind of like runs the mid range, but like he's really expanded his game a lot to me. Like more than just a shooter. Like he's practiced different finishes, so he's got a whole arsenal now. And then obviously Lucas Taylor shoots the skin off the ball, so that's another casualty to have. So those three guys have really stuck out to me playing with. And I'd say playing against a guy that actually gave me a pretty hard time was I remember sophomore year Nick Farrar. I mean, dude, just his whole body, like his body's just it's hard to contain.
Yeah,
I can stay.
he has a unique way of just scoring in
yeah,
there too.
just getting the ball in the basket in so many different ways. So that's one guy that gave me a little bit of trouble. But yeah, those guys stuck out to me.
Well, I mean, you mentioned 4 players that you played with. They're all really good. Louisville,
Yeah,
one's going to Louisville, the other Charlotte, Clemson, and
yeah.
and obviously Nick at NC State right now. Do you have a person that you kind of model your game after in a way?
And I watch a wide variety of people. I don't really have one person I tab. I kind of just try and watch, the best players. So I watch like a lot of Luka Doncic and like Dirk Nowitzki and KD, the way he uses his size and skill. So kind of just a little handful of guys that I feel like I can relate my game to.
And out of those people that you relate your game to, do you have like a favorite player in a way that you're like, man, if this guy's on, I'm definitely watching him play?
Yeah, I love Luka. Like just his pace of play and the way like his understanding of the game at such like a young age. Like
No, it's crazy. It's crazy. He's out there like 21 years old doing what he's doing.
It's ridiculous. Anytime he's on, I'm always making sure I click to that channel. So
no, that's awesome. I mean, he just has a way of just putting on a show every time you get out there. He gets out there. My last question to you, I mean, it's sort of my last question to everyone. If you're playing one-on-one with yourself, would you get a stop or would you get a bucket?
I like this question. Personally, I think like I know like my ticks and ways to get me off, so I think I'm getting a stop. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
now.
I mean, honestly, a lot more people now are saying that. I definitely wouldn't get a stop because I'm not a good defender. So I'm definitely getting a bucket against myself, no matter what move I have. I think I can still have confidence in my offense to get a bucket. But I love it, getting a stop. Well, I appreciate you coming on here, man. It's been an honor. Obviously, for IPFW, y'all have a steal. Y'all are gonna have an awesome player and an awesome person. Being able to watch you this summer, absolutely fell in love with your game.
Appreciate it.
No problem, man. And obviously, we love you here at Phenom, and we can't wait to see what you do at the next level. And I hope you have a good senior year.
Appreciate it, sir. I'm glad we got to do this. Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. Have a good one.
You too, sir.